And we're going live. Hello, everybody. How's it going? It is 10 o'clock on the dot, and if all of this is equal, it looks like I'm good to go. So, hey, how is everybody this evening? So, tonight, we're going to be checking out Another World's Zombie Apocalypse is Not My Problem. I have to admit, I'm kind of a sucker for the title of this one. I hope it bodes well for the feel of the book itself. This one is by Cross Infinite World. Thanks to my YouTube members, I threw out a bunch of Cross Infinite World titles and said, hey, which one should I do the live read and live reaction to? And this was the winner. So I'm checking this out on Kobo. If you can see the price of it, it's $9.82. If you enjoy what you hear tonight, you can feel free to use my affiliate links in the description down below, and you can buy yourself a copy. We did initially think that this was a standalone book. However, they've now put out a second volume, and I don't know if the second volume is sort of like a standalone itself, like if it ends the whole thing, or I don't know how this works, because I have not read this book at all. So, this one is by Haru Yayuri, with art by Fuyuki, and Charis Messier, of course, did the translation of this one. So, all right, let's get right to it. The synopsis of this one. Just when I thought navigating high school was bad enough, I woke up to a rotting post-apocalyptic world. I thought that the poisonous swamp surrounding my small island would have protected me from all the drama, but what did I see staggering my way? A nasty, putrid zombie. With nothing left to lose, I shoved it away, but to my surprise, it turned into a living, breathing, not-so-dead human. So I have the power to purify zombies, and now I'm expected to save this undead world from the zombie apocalypse? Great. This is so not my problem. Alrighty. So, okay, let's open this book up and take a look. Alright, and just, so we're clear on the whole thing. I did ask for permission from Cross Infinite World if I could do these things, and so they were cool with it. So, thank you to them. Alright. So let's go. Of course, we have the obligatory hot spring image, because why wouldn't we? And I'm guessing these are some of the men that she saves, because why wouldn't she? All right. Chapter 1. Where am I? It reeks. My name is Misuha Kusunoki. I just woke up, and I already feel like crying. Tears have actually formed in my eyes and are threatening to tumble over. These aren't tears produced by a casual yawn. The reason for them is simple. They're a visceral response to the putrid stench hanging in the air and growing thicker by the minute. Sewage sludge is the closest thing I can compare this foul smell to, but the intensity is on a whole other level. Worse than living in a sewer. It's so bad. I fear taking a deep breath will cause the mucky air to melt my internal organs. Where in the world am I? With the information available to me now, most people would probably conclude I am in a garbage dump or a sewage treatment plant. When I first woke up, the same thought crossed my mind, but pressing my wrist against my nose to block out the smell, I survey my surroundings. The quickest way to describe the scene is as a desert island in the middle of the ocean, without anything remotely tropical or pleasant on it. The thing is, not only is the island no bigger than 100 square foot room and deader than a wasteland, but the ocean surrounding it is an eerie, noxious purple. I can hear bubbles rising and popping like some sort of witch's brew rolling in a cauldron. Where the heck is this place supposed to be? I don't have the faintest idea where this is. For that matter, I've never seen something in reality that is so obviously a poisonous swamp. It looks just like the miasma marshes in the video games I used to watch my older brother play. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere trying to figure out where I am, so I'll set that aside for now. The biggest problem is why the heck am I in a place like this all alone? I try recalling what happened before I went to sleep. Familiar images flicker through my mind. I went to my high school in the morning, sat through my classes, and worked just 2 hours at the cafe after school. Trying to be considerate of my brother, who's a year older than me and in his senior year of high school, I went straight home after my part-time job. It was an ordinary day from beginning to end. The only thing different from usual was that I had dived into my bed the moment I'd entered my room. Work had been so chaotic that I was mentally and physically drained beyond exhaustion. My memories cut off there. I probably fell asleep after that. That makes the most sense to me. I'm convinced that's what happened. But how was I supposed to know I'd wake up surrounded by a gurgling and bubbling poisonous swamp? Am I still dreaming? That question crosses my mind for a whole second, but I can't deny I'm awake when that foul stench is burning all my senses, and I have full control of my body. Luckily, I'm still wearing my outdoor school uniform, consisting of a light brown cardigan over my shirt and a red and white pleated skirt. And for whatever reason, I still have my loafers on. This is a popular high school uniform near where I live, but I don't see a single other person around. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered even if I were dressed in my pajamas instead. Splat! The poisonous muck suddenly splatters onto my small island. A slimy, human-shaped thing crawls onto the island, using that muck as a foothold. Eee! What the? Brrrr. The thing rises onto 2 feet, and the sticky liquid coating its whole body begins dripping off. Something that looks markedly human is left standing there once all the gunk slides off it. But it's a far cry from an ordinary human. It seems to be wearing some rusty armor and has festering sores covering the exposed skin on its face and neck. Plus, its molting skin has faded to a sickly greenish-blue color. Red lines run through its horribly bloodshot eyes, and rotting, gnarly teeth peek out through its wide-open mouth. The word zombie comes instantly to mind. I have only ever seen them in movies, anime, games, and manga, but that thing's appearance makes it impossible to think of it as anything else. Blah! Blah! Staggering, the moaning zombie slowly closes in on my position. I instinctively step back from the grotesque creature. Small island. A few steps, and I've reached the end of the line. A piece of the ledge under my feet breaks off. When that piece hits the poisonous liquid, it disintegrates, leaving behind the sizzling sound of cooking meat. You've got to be freaking kidding me! I'm done for if I fall in. Don't you blah blah me. Don't come any closer. Please, just go away. Moan like a baby all you want, zombie, but with looks like that, you aren't winning any cuteness contests. If anything, it only increases your grossness. At any rate, what I'm saying isn't getting across. Oh, sorry, it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, so, I'll apologize ahead of time, because it looks like my, there's going to be some buffering. Sorry. Buffering. God. Buffering. All right. Anyway. My apologies, though. Hopefully it's not too bad. Okay. At any rate, what I'm saying isn't getting across to the zombie, as evidenced by the fact that it won't stop coming closer no matter how many times I ask it to go away. This can't be real. There's almost no space to try to run past the zombie. Even if I did make it by some miracle, this is a tiny island. I can't get away. As I was trying to think up a plan of action, the zombie had shambled close enough for me to touch if I reached out my hand. It advances on me with its arms lazily hanging in front of it. Blah! Go away! Slam! Desperately wanting to survive, I reflexively shoved the zombie's chest with my right hand. Did I use more strength than I thought? The zombie falls onto its back and begins writhing on the ground, moaning. Am I saved? I just wish I didn't have to touch a zombie. Partly because you never know what could happen when you touch something unnatural, but mostly because it stinks to high heaven. Case in point, my right hand reeks. This sucks. Blech! I'm staring at my hand, depressed, when all of a sudden the zombie's body starts shining brightly. Whoa! What in the world? Why is it glowing? Blah! The light grows brighter as the zombie screams. It's too blinding to keep my eyes open. However, the light quickly fades. I fearfully open my eyes and blink several times. The zombie is gone. In its place is a man in his 20s. He's a slender man around 6 feet tall. His other distinct features are his golden hair tied back in a samurai hairstyle and his pretty sapphire-like eyes. He's clad in the same type of armor as that zombie, but the luster and polish of his doesn't bear the slightest resemblance to that rust bucket. The armor has transformed from rusty metal into very expensive-looking silver. On closer inspection, he even has a sword hanging from his waist and has the appearance of a noble knight you might find in a storybook. Before? After? During. I don't know. I'm stunned speechless. Not because I'm captivated by his otherworldly good looks. No, I lied. In all actuality, that has 90% to do with it. But there is something else worthier of my attention right now. I hold my breath. A zombie just turned into a living, breathing, not so dead human. So that's the end of chapter 1. I'll read what's left. I don't know how much more there is in this preview, but I'm going to take a little sip of water here, because... All right. Well, I'm glad that it seems that we're going okay. My YouTube now says that my signal is excellent, so hopefully that solves that particular issue. So... I'm enjoying this so far. I do like the fact that the main female protagonist isn't totally like a damsel in distress. She's got that bit of snark to her, and actually the writing on this is pretty good. Like, the wording of just how disgusting this smell was, and the appearance of the zombie. There's some nice detail in that. Usually, a lot of light novels would have just left it at, it stinks. It smells like garbage. By the goddess! Have I returned to normal? The now living knight examines his body as if he can't believe his eyes. I don't know his deal, but I don't blame him for being confused after reverting from zombie to human. That said, I can confidently say I'm even more confused than he is. A zombie that was moaning blah, blah and trying to eat me turned into a human just by me touching it with my right hand? Does this count as bringing someone back from the dead? He was a zombie. But considering his filthy armor became clean and shiny, and the way the scream ripped from his throat when he glowed, purification seems like a better explanation. Yep, purification it is. My eyes meet the night's while I'm in the middle of escaping reality by analyzing my situation. Having grown up with an older brother, I've never had a problem chatting with boys at school, but while that may be true, I still have reservations about talking to some guy who was a zombie trying to eat me a few moments prior, no matter how cool he's looking right now. Are you the one who restored me to my former self? I didn't do anything so grandiose. I only touched you with my hand. More like I shoved him with all my strength, but telling him that will only draw attention to how violent my method was. I knew it. I vaguely remember things from when I was a zombie. I see. That powerful thrust to my chest was your doing, the knight says as he brings his right hand to his chest. Crud. The fact that I shoved him is completely out in the open. I didn't hit you because I wanted to. It's your fault for cornering me while groaning. Blah, blah. The knight deeply bows his head to me. Thank you very much. I'm stumped. All I did was touch him, or rather gave a hard push to his chest, which normally wouldn't do much at all, even if my joking conclusion that I have the ability to purify zombies is somehow freakishly true. It's not something I've done before. I'm not aware of having an ability like that, though if purification really exists, I wish it'd purify the horrid odor exuding from my hand. The knight raises his head and introduces himself. My name is Lex Irvine, a knight with Grant's Kingdom's Royal Knights. I couldn't tell he wasn't Japanese by his looks, so the rest of what he said, I've never heard of Grant's Kingdom. Between the existence of zombie knights and poisonous swamps, I'm starting to think this is a different world from the one I know. It's a ridiculous theory even to me, but taking all the available information into account, and now it says there's no data. And now it says it's excellent condition. Wow, guys. I do apologize. It seems like this is being a little up and down tonight. Now it says error, YouTube's not receiving. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. I know. I do apologize. I guess all I can do is kind of continue on, and hopefully we'll cross our fingers that this sort of sorts itself out. Brr. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I know there's a delay between the audio. I'm like, and to be honest, there's a delay with the audio anyway, but you kind of have to delay the audio in OBS because it takes a while for the video to catch up, and then when you have connection issues, I guess it makes it even worse. The audio keeps on going, but everything else goes to junk. Yeah, it's kind of a drag. Anyway, where was I? All right. Between the existence of zombie knights and poisonous swamps, I'm starting to think this is a different world from the one I know. It's a ridiculous theory even to me, but taking all the available information to account, there's a high chance the another world theory applies here. Though the biggest mystery is how we're communicating without a language barrier. If I may ask, what is your name, fair maiden? Kusunoki. That's my last name. I'm Mizuha Kusunoki. Since the knight had introduced himself with his first name first, I switched mid-sentence to match the local custom. Lady Mizuha, you have a gorgeous name. This is the first time a man who's not related to me has addressed me by my first name. It's a tad embarrassing, but it's not a bad feeling. But calling me by name isn't the only problem here. Why are you calling me lady? I'm not someone of high status. You can drop that part. Because you are the fair lady who saved my life. I must treat you with the respect you are due, he firmly declares, shooting down my request. I was just starting to think he was the gentle-mannered, easy-to-get-along-with type, but turns out he might actually be the difficult-to-handle type. Even so, he's the only other human around. I have no option but to rely on him right now. Excuse me, Sir Lex? Please, just call me Lex. I would be most pleased if you spoke with me casually as well. I can't do that. I only just met you, Sir Lex. Lex! Please, call me that. I knew it. He's the annoying type. Is he just serious to a fault or more stubborn than a mule? Actually, he's probably both. At any rate, it's just a waste of time if I get hung up on responding to his stupid comments in kind. I take a deep breath and let the tension out of my shoulders. Then I stare at the man in front of me as I tell myself, all this guy has going for him is his looks. He's a weirdo on the inside. A weirdo. Okay, that should do it. Fine. I'll be casual with you then. Lex? I have a lot of questions for you. Will you answer them? If it is within my ability to answer you, with pleasure. What in the world is going on here? It looks like we're on a desert island in the middle of the deep ocean. We're surrounded on all sides by some sort of venomous-looking muck. I don't know what has transpired either. All I can say is that the world suddenly rotted around us, and every person, without exception, turned into a zombie as if in a chain reaction. The only power I know capable of this widespread influence comes from the Dark Djinn. Lex pauses there and looks at my face. Milady, are you feeling unwell? Yes and no. I'm physically fine, I say, holding my head in my hand. Zombie-esque things exist. I probably shouldn't be surprised at this point, but not even I could have predicted that a term like Dark Djinn would come up so easily as a part of a normal conversation. My zombie apocalypse nightmare has just turned up the fantasy world ante. Stop right there. Every person without exception? I'm not sure I really want to know the answer to this, but is it possible there are no other living humans around? Correct. At least, that was supposed to be the case as far as I know. Supposed to be the case? Lady Mizuha, the curse didn't befall you. Lex's expression turns serious as he studies my face. What in the goddess's name are you? The Dark Djinn's power is indomitable. None should have been capable of escaping its curse, and yet you... I want to know the answer to that question more than anyone. When I came to, I was here without a clue about anything. My inkling might not be so far off after all. That sacred power that allows you to not only break the Dark Djinn's curse, but also return me to my former self. I believe it means you are the holy priestess sent here by the goddess to save our world, Lady Mizuha. I can't help blinking at that preposterous conclusion. Is this guy all right in the head? Maybe his brain's fried when he turned into a zombie. Me? A holy priestess? Not a chance. I'm just a high school girl. School? Girl? Lex tries sounding out the words. Oh, my older brother likes to just call me a schoolgirl, but I guess you wouldn't get that either? I mentioned that with the fleeting hope he might know what that is, but it's no good. Face scrunched up in a confused frown, Lex cocks his head at me. Well, in any case, I'm just a normal human. You can't be. A normal person does not possess the holy powers you used. What I'm trying to say is, don't give me special treatment or look at me funny. I mean, look around. Whatever power I do or don't have, it's not getting us out of here. The power to purify a zombie and revert them to their original human form. I can't deny that's an awesome power, but it's meaningless if I can't escape this tiny island. Lady Misuha. I turned my face aside to avoid Lex's sorrowful gaze. If what he says is true, then there are no other humans aside from us. In other words, we can't expect help to come. Walking through the poisonous swamp to find land is out of the question. To be blunt, there's no hope of being saved. I never really had any particular ambitions in life, but that doesn't mean I don't enjoy living. As weird as it is for me to say this, I still have a long life ahead of me. I've optimistically lived out my days, thinking I have plenty of time to find what I want to do with my life, but now I'm going to die in obscurity before I ever discover what that is. I plop down on the ground with a loud sigh. I pull my knees up to my chin and bury my face in them. Is there a point in living if there's nothing for me to do? There's nothing more painful than endless boredom. Maybe I should just make it easier on myself and dive into that acidic poison. Negative thoughts overwhelm my mind, my mental state descending into chaos. My one forte is my optimistic energy that gets the regular customers and owners at my part-time job to say, "Seeing you always smile like that cheers me right up too." But even a cheerful person like me loses hope in a hopeless situation. The torturous feelings rising inside me turn into tears and spill over. Teardrops drip from my blurry eyes. The drops splatter on the ground. All of a sudden, the ground faintly glows. Startled, I spring to my feet. What's going on now? Once the light spreads over the entire desert island, weeds sprout from the dead earth, covering what had been a wasteland moments prior. As if taking that as the cue, the light scatters as if shattering into pieces, eventually turning phosphorescent and quietly fading away. Weeds grew. Indeed, they did grow. I gape at the ground with Lex. What in the world is happening? Less than a second after my tears hit the earth, the island was covered in green. That's the only thing I know for sure. Lady Mizuha, may I ask what it is you did? I don't really want to say because it's embarrassing. I just cried a little. When my tears fell, the ground suddenly started glowing. To think you returned life to the putrefied ground with your tears. As I thought, you truly are the holy priest. You're just looking for excuses to call me that now. It seems as if he wants to treat me like some kind of priestess, no matter what. I'll admit that bringing plant life back to barren land with just my tears is a holy-sounding power. That being said, I don't want to acknowledge myself as some priestess, regardless of how much power I might have. The reason is simple. Everything people view as holy or sacred tends to be beautiful. Sorry to burst this world's bubble, but I'm no otherworldly beauty. I think I have average looks, but that's about it. It's obvious people will be disappointed when they imagine their priestess as some stunner and then they see me. They'll think, what the heck? That's her? Then again, this might just be baseless worry when the only people around to disappoint are zombies. Do zombies feel disappointment? Anyway, Lex is staring at the noxious swamp with hopeful eyes. While we don't have proof yet, maybe if you cry over the poison, we might be able to purify it? Please try it, Lady Mizuha. Okay, leave it to me. I roll up my sleeves and gallantly stride over to the island's edge. I poke my head slightly over the side and strain my eyes. Gah! The tears aren't coming. They dried up the second I thought I was saved. Ugh. At my wit's end, I pound my hands on the ledge. No matter how much I pray for my emotional side from several minutes ago to return, it won't. The pointless, optimistic side of me has taken full control of my brain. Pardon my language, but how about saliva? What are you suggesting with a straight face? I knew it. His good looks were too good to be true. There's always a catch. And that's the end of the preview. The end of the preview. So, yeah, that's Another World's Zombie Apocalypse is not my problem. Like I said, there is 2 volumes of this one. The original was a standalone as far as we know, and I believe Mirage said somewhere in here that the second volume was went ahead when this first volume apparently did pretty well. So there you go. That is that. So, what do you guys think? I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact that it's more, again, as I said, like I kind of like the fact that the main female character is a little bit more feisty. I kind of like that she's a little bit of a smartass. That's always good to me, honestly. All right, so it only skipped a second. I'm just taking a look at the chat now that I have a little bit more way to look at it. All right. Playing League of Legends, listening to Stone reading a light novel today. Indeed. Silent Empire. Well, hey, if I can provide you with a little bit of ASMR for your League of Legends, well, woohoo. All right. She should cut some onions while she walks around to get those tears going. Well, see, I like how he was like, I mean, it cuts off there. He's like, how about saliva? And she's like, yo, what are you trying to say? But I honestly was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, just spit on it. But that sounds pretty horrible. That don't sound so good either. Slayers, one of the best light novels in the history. How about a review of it? Well, I don't know if I'm going to do a review of Slayers, but I mean, maybe I could do something like this for Slayers and read a little bit of it. So, I don't know. I think you're kind of right, Mirage. Yeah, like, it's good that it's not taking itself too seriously. That is definitely, I think, a plus in this particular situation. Not really... Yeah, it definitely works a lot better because it's clearly funny. Like, it's meant to be a comedy. So I do kind of dig that. I thought that was, I thought overall that one was pretty fun. I don't know how long it is. I guess I should have looked at that maybe before I went and closed the window. Haha. But oh well. No, knowing actually Cross Infinite World, I bet you it's probably long. Let me just take a look here. Does it actually say? I don't think it says on Kobo how long it is. Ooh, it got some very middle of the ground reviews, like 3.5 stars out of 5 reviews. Let's go somewhere else, and we're gonna see if I can figure out how long this thing is. If anybody's read it, feel free to throw that into the comments if you know exactly how long it is. Some of these, like I said, like some of these Cross Infinite World books, like I remember when I was reading what is the Otome game one that came out like a while back. When I read the first volume of that, I was like, holy crap, it was long. Oh, this says it's only 233 pages. That's not long. Oh, that's right. You can actually get it in paperback too if you buy it off of Amazon. I forgot that. Yeah, 231 pages. That's not too long actually. So I take it back. It's not that long. Um, but there you go. So hey, if you're looking for kind of a funny female lead zombie apocalypse, then yeah, there you go. So that is that. So what do you think? Should I do another Cross Infinite World next time, or should I do some more JNovel Club? Yenon said that I could do some of theirs, but they said that I think only like 5 minutes or so of reading, and I'm like looking at how long it took me just to read that little bit, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, no, that's probably not going to work because I read way too slow to try and cram it all in 5 minutes. So maybe we'll just stick with Cross Infinite World and JNovel Club for now. Which, I mean, fair enough. Like, there are a whack ton of JNovel Club and Cross Infinite World titles that I have never even looked at. So that's probably it's probably okay to stick with that. So, all right. So that's that. I mean, I don't know. You guys got what are you guys up to nowadays? I don't know. I haven't yet to really come up with a good idea of how to like end these things. But yeah, I will say this though. Two things about that. You know, I'm not as big a fan of first person writing. Like I kind of like I get how that book works because I mean, obviously you've got this kind of snappy first person narration, which I think works given that the way that the title is going, like kind of hearing the character's voice in her own head and how she's sort of observing things. I kind of like that. But I will say, like, as I said, the description of like the smells and what's going on and everything, I thought that was pretty well done, all things considering. Uh, Krieger, hey, no problem. You know, I had some fun with that. I actually kind of like doing these things. I need to set it up so I can do more. Also thinking about some other stuff too, but I'll keep that under my cap for now. I do have I'm recording the September new releases video. That'll probably be up Monday. There's a lot. Holy crap, there are a lot of light novel series coming out in September. Like, holy jumping. I could not believe how many there were, honestly. Let's take a look. If I go on over to English light novels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ladies and gentlemen, 14 light novel series making their debut in the month of September. And that is not including one that the what was that Seven Seas title about the Lich? It has some ridiculously long title. Anyway, it was supposed to come out last month. I did cover it in that, and it got delayed until the 5th of October. So technically that's coming out this month too, but I'm not including it because Seven Seas should have stuck to it and released it in August. Yes, Kirby. If you intend to try and keep up with them all, your wallet will feel great pain. Great pain and suffering. However, it depends, I guess, too, on whether you want to buy physical or you want to buy digital releases, because a number of those, obviously, are 7C's, like, advanced digital releases. Whole bunch of, like, JNovel Club. I find it funny with JNovel Club, like, they announce like a license, like 10, 12 titles, and then they drop like 6 or 8 of them in a single month. Just like I would have thought that they would kind of space that out a little bit. OCL. Wrong stream, CL. Maybe another time. Oh boy. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah. it just, I guess it depends on what all you want to read, but I think the only thing that I'm really still like, I've got honestly so much stuff that I should get caught up on first, but actually, see, we need to find something that can be spammed in my comments. So, and yes, you're right, Mirage. A lot of light novels are first person. That's why I'm kind of happy when I find one that's written in third person, because I do have to say that is my preferred reading point of view. It's the writing it's the point of view that I write in as well. I don't I've written very little in first person. So, yeah. There you go. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be doing the new releases video. That'll probably come out Monday because they start... Okay, excluding the Lich book, which came out on the 5th, which I've already missed. Well, it comes out tomorrow, I guess, so I haven't missed it, but I'm not going to get it put out. Anyway, it's already come out. I'm not going to worry about it. No, it came out on the 2nd. Never mind. Anyway, I'm just gabbing now. Anyway, so yeah, that video will be out. I'll get back on the top 10s. I did just start my new job. I think I told you guys about that in the last stream, maybe. Anyway, just finished my 2nd week. Man, so much stuff to learn, and things have been kind of bonkers. Like, yeah, and just coming home exhausted. I mean, yeah, I skipped the top 10 last week because I could not even make myself sit down to record it. I just was like, done, toast. But, that is how it is. So, okay, well, I think that'll be that for tonight. Because speaking of tired, I'm already feeling like I should be going to bed. It's funny, like, only after 2 weeks, I'm already turning into that wake up at 6 o'clock without an alarm kind of guy, which I have not been that guy for a long time, and it's kind of weird doing that. So, in any case, thank you all for joining me on this little journey tonight, and, don't forget to subscribe if you're in the comments and aren't subscribed for some bizarre reason, or, if you're watching this after the fact, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do more stuff like this and some other stuff too, because, I'm kind of in my midlife crazies, and I figure it's a good time to do some crazy stuff. So, cheers to all of you. Stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.